Alright, so in honor of the regular season starting tonight in the NHL, we are going to simulate the entirety of the 23-24 season, and we are going to go on and find out who wins the Stanley Cup at the end of the year. Also, all the major individual awards, and maybe even some upsets in the playoffs. Who knows? Kind of like how Florida beat Boston last year in the playoffs. You guys can call me Aiden Ross because we're doing the 2020-2023 NHL season. I have no idea why he says it like that, but that is right, boys. The entire season will be done in this video. Also, at the end of the regular season, we are going to be hopping over into playoff mode, and we are going to go into some playoff games, maybe some game 7s, high stakes scenarios, and we are going to watch it in real time to see who is the true winner of the 2023-2024 NHL season. My guess is that the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year, boys. Let me know in the comments who you guys think is going to take home that Stanley Cup in this NHL season. Alright, so we are about halfway through the NHL regular season right now, and it is time to look at the standings and the statistics. So if we take a look at the Central Division, the Colorado Avalanche are doing their thing, followed by the Winnipeg Jets. Minnesota's up there, and Dallas is grabbing that wild card at the moment. Nashville, St. Louis, Chicago, and Arizona are not doing the greatest. I mean, there's a pretty big gap between Nashville and Dallas. These are definitely the top 4 teams in the Central. Now, if we take a look at the Pacific Division, Seattle is actually at the top with 47 points, followed by the San Jose Sharks, who are 22-17-3. Then we got Edmonton. LA's got the wild card. Vegas is not even a playoff spot right now. Vancouver, Calgary, and Anaheim. I mean, Anaheim's going to be bad. We already know that. Now, taking a look at the Atlantic, the Tampa Bay Lightning are in first place with 56 points, followed by the Bruins. Buffalo is up there. Montreal is in a wild card, as well as Detroit. Meanwhile, the Toronto Maple Leafs are dead last in their division. And finally, taking a look at the Metro, the Devils are going to grab the 1 seed so far. 50 points, 24 wins, followed by the Rangers. Pittsburgh's having a bounce-back season. The Islanders, Philly, Washington, Columbus, and Carolina, who is dead last in their division despite being like a top 3 favorite for the Stanley Cup this year. I guess they're going to absolutely bomb the regular season. Taking a look at the entire NHL, the top 5 is going to be Colorado, Tampa Bay, Winnipeg, Minnesota, and Boston. And if we take a look at the bottom 5, it's going to be Arizona, Chicago, Carolina, and Anaheim. Actually, no, that's 4. Columbus. I think Carolina is probably going to be a top 5 team in the NHL in real life, but what do I know, right? Nikita Kucherov right now is leading the NHL in both goals with 36 and points with 63. He's on an absolute tear right now, followed by Pasta, who had 62. Stammer's up there. Matt Zuccarello has 58 points. If we take a look at the goals here, Cole Caulfield's actually in second place for goals with 26 and 38 games. Pasternak is up there. Jack Hughes is scoring at an elite rate. Where the hell is Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, even Austin Matthews? Oh, EA, you guys can never fathom how good Connor McDavid actually is in real life. Leon Draisaitl is leading. Actually, Draisaitl and McDavid are both tied at 48 points. McDavid has 17 goals, Draisaitl 19, so they're pretty close. But I mean, they're not even going to lead the Edmonton Oilers. Zach Hyman is going to have the same amount of goals as Connor McDavid, but 2 more points in the same amount of games. Actually, 2 more games, but alright, so now that we know how the NHL season is going right now, it is time to simulate to the end of the regular season, and then we can move on to the playoffs, to where the big games happen. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready for some playoff hockey. I'm not even going to lie. Playoff hockey is the best time of year, no doubt about it. And we're going to get a slight, I guess, sneak peek into the 2024 NHL playoffs, maybe. I mean, who knows with EA Sports' simulation, but let me know in the comments, boys, who you guys think is going to win the Stanley Cup this year. My personal pick is the Edmonton Oilers, but I mean, I could see New Jersey or maybe even Carolina winning it. Colorado could possibly do it again, who knows. So at the end of the regular season, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to end up finishing first in the NHL with 55 wins, followed by the New Jersey Devils, who had 50. Toronto was up there. Winnipeg. Minnesota is going to finish top 5 in the NHL. If we take a look at the bottom of the NHL, we have the Arizona Coyotes, the Philadelphia Flyers. Anaheim was down there. Carolina had a very bad season. Now, before we take a look at the goals and points leaders, Connor Bedard is going to have 37 goals and 86 points in 82 games. Jack Hughes is actually going to end up leading the entire NHL in points with 121. What a season for the kid. The 22-year-old Jack Hughes is going to light the NHL on fire. Anze Kopitar is going to come in second place with 111, followed by Stammer, who had 110. Nathan McKinnon was up there past it. Jack Eichel had 106. Kucherov 105. Jesper Bratt. Man, Jesper Bratt has been simulating insanely well in this game. 38 goals, 105 points. Kirill Kaprizov was up there. Connor McDavid only had 42 goals and 103 points. That is tough. And if we take a look at the goals here, Nikita Kucherov, in the absolute snipe show that he is going to lead with 58, followed by Nathan McKinnon's 53. Zibanejad had 49. Jack Hughes was up there with 48. Cole Caulfield damn near had 50 goals on the season. A very big year by him. Jack Eichel had 47. Kaprizov 47. Anze Kopitar 45 and Pasta 45 as well. Erik Karlsson is going to lead all D-man in points with 95, followed by Cale Makar's 84 and Victor Hedman 76. Now if we take a look at goalies here, Connor Hellebuck is going to lead all goaltenders and wins with 46, followed by Vasi's 43 and Sorokin, who had 40. And for shutouts, the leader is going to be 6, and it's going to be Jake Ottinger, who did play 70 goddamn games and had 3 goals against, but somehow is going to put up 6 shutouts on the season. Also, let's take a look at the rookie skaters here. Connor Bedard obviously is going to lead the way, 37 goals and 86 points. It was not even close. The next closest would be Marco Rossi. Is it Rossi or Rossi? Because I saw somebody in the comments absolutely flaming me for how I pronounce his name, but he is going to have 19 goals and 37 points. Luke Hughes had a decent rookie year, I guess. 16 goals, 31 points as a D-man. Matthew Nyes had 24, only 9 goals. And all right, here we go. These are the playoff matchups that EA says we're going to have at the end of the 2023-2024 regular season. So in the West, we have Minnesota, Colorado, Winnipeg, LA, Vancouver, Vegas, Seattle, and Dallas. And on the East side, we have New York and Pittsburgh, New Jersey and Boston, the Battle of Ontario, and Tampa Bay and Detroit. We have some very interesting matchups here in the playoffs. Now it is time to import these matchups over into playoff mode so we can actually go in and watch some of the endings of these games. Alright, so here we are. I have imported every single playoff matchup that we had in franchise mode, and now we are in playoff mode to simulate the entirety of the playoffs. So basically what I'm going to do is we are going to simulate most games here, mostly in the first round, unless we have some big games like a big game 6 or maybe even a game 7. We will hop into the end of some of these games to see what happens and see who moves on. So it is now time to simulate the entirety of the 2024 NHL playoffs. Let's see who goes on and wins the Stanley Cup in NHL 24. The Minnesota Wild are going to absolutely dominate Colorado in game 1, 6-2. Vancouver is going to take game 1 over Vegas in overtime, 4-3. The Islanders are going to squeak out a game 1 victory over Pittsburgh. Toronto and Ottawa are going to go to war in game 1, but Toronto will come out on top 5-2 over the Senators. The Winnipeg Jets are going to steal game 1 over LA 5-3. Seattle is going to squeak out a victory over Dallas 3-2 in overtime. Boston is going to dominate New Jersey 6-2 in game number 1. It was not even close. And the Red Wings are going to dominate Tampa 6-2 in game number 1. That is by far the most shocking game so far. Colorado is going to tie up the series at 1 apiece. Vegas is going to take game number 2 4-2 over Vancouver. The Islanders are going to take a 2-0 series lead over Pittsburgh after dominating in game 2 6-3. And Toronto is going to dominate Ottawa 6-2. The Winnipeg Jets are also going to take a 2-0 series lead over the LA Kings. And the Seattle Kraken are going to come out in the third period and score 3 goals to win game number 2 and take a 2-0 series lead. Boston is just barely going to squeak out a game 2 victory over the Devils 3-2. And Tampa Bay will shut out Detroit in game 2 to tie up the series at 1 apiece. Minnesota is going to win game number 3 4-2 over Colorado. Somehow the Vegas Golden Knights are going to rally back in the third period. They were down 3-0 heading into the third, and the Vegas Golden Knights are going to complete the comeback, scoring in overtime. Chandler Stevenson on Demko, and the Penguins are not going to fall down 3-0 to the Islanders as Sidney Crosby is going to score in overtime. And the Ottawa Senators are not out of the series yet, as they are going to get their first victory of the series. And Winnipeg is the first team to go up 3-0 in their series, as yet again they are going to defeat LA. And the Dallas Stars are going to rally in the third period for 5 straight goals as they are going to defeat Seattle in game number 3. That is insane. And the Boston Bruins are going to continue to dominate the Devils as they shut them out in game number 3 4-0. They are also going up 3-0 in the series. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to take a 2-1 series lead over the Red Wings after a 2-1 victory in game number 3. Colorado is going to take game number 4 over Minnesota 3-2. Nathan MacKinnon is going to score the overtime winner. Vancouver is going to tie up the series at 2 apiece after a 3-1 victory over Vegas. The Islanders are going to take a 3-1 series lead over Pittsburgh after Pierre Engvall is going to score the overtime winner on Tristan Jarry. And the Ottawa Senators are going to tie up their series as Vladimir Tarasenko is going to score the overtime winner. And it looks like the Winnipeg Jets are going to eliminate LA in the very first round, sweeping them as they are leading 5-1 in game number 4, now 5-2. 5-3. Oh no, a comeback could be coming here. All right, so we have 30 seconds to go here in game number 4. LA trying to push. They are down 2 goals over Winnipeg. And that is going to do it. Mark Scheifele is going to put home the empty netter. And it looks like the Winnipeg Jets are going to end up sweeping LA in the very first round. They absolutely dominated them. And that is going to do it as the Winnipeg Jets are going to sweep the LA Kings in round number 4. It was not even close. And Los Angeles is the first team to be eliminated from the playoffs. Dallas is going to tie up their series at 2 apiece with Seattle after a 5-2 victory. And the Boston Bruins are going to dominate New Jersey in the very first round as they sweep them. Yes, the Devils. And Boston is off to round number 2. Meanwhile, New Jersey, well, they're off to the golf course yet again. The Red Wings pretty much dominated this game start to finish besides the third period. I mean, it was like 6-3 or 6-2 at one point. Minnesota is going to win a huge game number 5 as they take a 3-2 series lead over Colorado, as well as the Vancouver Canucks, who are going to take a 3-2 lead over Vegas after a lone goal by Brock Besser. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to save their season as they defeat the Islanders 10-4. I'm not kidding you. They scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in the third period. It was a 4-all game. The Ottawa Senators have Toronto on the brink of elimination as they win game number 5 6-3, as well as the Seattle Kraken, who rallied in the third period to win 4-2 and also take a 3-2 series lead. And now Tampa Bay has Detroit on the brink of elimination after a dominating Game 5 victory, and Colorado is going to force a Game 7 after a 4-1 victory here in game number 6, and Vancouver is going to eliminate the defending champion Vegas Golden Knights in 6 games in the first round. That is 100% an upset. That is the first upset of the video, really. Maybe Boston could be an upset over New Jersey, but I did not expect Vancouver to defeat Vegas in the very first round. There's Captain Quinn Hughes, and the New York Islanders are gonna eliminate Pittsburgh in 6 games in the very first round. Kind of shocked by that. I mean, you gotta be upset if you're a Pens fan. You guys went all in trading for Erik Karlsson and you're still gonna lose in the first round. And it looks like the Toronto Maple Leafs are actually gonna force a Game 7 with Ottawa as they defeat them in Game 6 1-0. Lone goal coming in the very first period by Nick Robertson on Jonas Korpisalo. Nick Robertson is gonna be the hero for Toronto. Jesus Christ. And Dallas will force a Game 7 with Seattle after a 2-1 victory in game number 6. And the Red Wings are not done yet as they are also going to force a Game 7. All right, we have overtime here in Game 7 in Minnesota between the Avalanche and the Wild. Who is going to go on and advance to round number 2? Nathan MacKinnon absolutely flying up the wing over Drouin. Back to Rantanen. Great save by Gustafsson in the slot. Jonathan Drouin still has it. They have full pressure in the offensive zone. Cale Makar still cannot get a shot off for some reason. Best defenseman in the game, but can't even get a simple shot. Oh, here comes Kaprizov. He's going to dump it in, though. Forechecking on Cale Makar. Jonathan Drouin still out there, still has the puck, making moves in the offensive zone. Great pass. Cale Makar could not get it to go. And that is not good as Colorado is headed to the box and the Wild are headed to the power play. Devon Toews, what are you doing, bro? A tripping call in the neutral zone? You might have just cost your team the series, man. Let's see if Minnesota can actually get it done here on the power play. They're going to lose the draw, though. And he can't clear it out because EA removed the dump feature in front of the net. Oh, Myers. Myers, what are you doing, dude? You had so much room to skate and go on the attack, but instead you're going to dump it down. Colorado is going to clear the zone, though, and they're going hard on the forecheck. Valerie Nichushkin must have saw a stripper in the crowd that he's going to play that hard for. Addison over. Eriksson Ek. Rebound. Nobody's in the offensive zone for Minnesota. Backdoor! Backdoor! And the Minnesota Wild are headed to round number 2 as they eliminate Colorado in Game 7 of round number 1. What a victory. What a pass. And Devon Toews is going to cost Colorado their season. It must be tough being Toews right now. I'm not even going to lie. And Toronto is yet again going to fall in Game 7 of the very first round as Ottawa is going to take it. Man, I'm telling you, if that Tampa Bay-Toronto series went to 7 last year, Tampa Bay was 100% going to win that. Toronto cannot win a Game 7 if their life literally depended on it. And the Dallas Stars are going to go on and beat the Seattle Kraken in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. 2-1, I believe, as they are off to round number 2, and well, Seattle and the Red Wings are off to round number 2 as they defeat Tampa Bay in 7 games of round number 1. Tampa Bay could not clutch it out, and yet again another first round exit for them, with Minnesota, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Dallas, New York, and Boston, and of course the Red Wings versus Ottawa. Let's see who's going to advance to the conference finals. Winnipeg is going to absolutely dominate game number 1, 5-1. Dallas is also going to dominate game number 1, 6-3. The Boston Bruins are going to choke in the third period as the Islanders score 3 straight to steal game number 1. Ottawa is going to win game number 1, 4-3 over the Red Wings. The Winnipeg Jets are going to take a 2-0 series lead over Minnesota. The Vancouver Canucks are going to rally back and tie up the series at 1 apiece with Dallas. Boston is going to get dominated in game 2 by the Islanders, and they are down 2-0 in the series now. And the Ottawa Senators are also going to take a 2-0 series lead over the Red Wings. The Jets are going to rally back in the third period and in overtime to win game number 3 over Minnesota. Vancouver is going to take a 2-1 series lead over Dallas. The Islanders are going to go up 3-0 over Boston after a 6-0 defeat in game number 3. And the Red Wings are going to rally in the third period, 4 straight goals to actually get their first win in the series as they are down 2-1 now. And the Winnipeg Jets are going to stay undefeated through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs as they dominate Minnesota just like they dominated LA as they both got swept. And Winnipeg is an absolute powerhouse right now in the playoffs. I guess the whiteout is truly working for them. The Dallas Stars are going to tie up the series at 2 apiece with Vancouver. And the Boston Bruins are actually going to be swept in the second round by the Islanders. A shameful exit of the playoffs yet again by Boston, as the New York Islanders are off to the conference finals, and Boston, well, they're headed home yet again in disappointing fashion. Detroit is going to win game 4 6-2 and tie up the series at 2 apiece with Ottawa. Vancouver is going to take a 3-2 lead over Dallas after a 5-4 victory. Ottawa has Detroit on the brink of elimination after dominating game 5 7-3, and Dallas is going to force game 7 with Vancouver after a 5-3 victory, as well as the Red Wings are going to force a game 7 with Ottawa after a 4-2 victory in game number 6. And the Dallas Stars are off to the conference finals after beating Vancouver in game 7 of the second round. And yet again, Dallas is going to be in the conference finals. Last year they got dominated by Vegas, but maybe this year they can actually go back to the Stanley Cup Final. And the Ottawa Senators, for the first time since 2017, are headed back to the conference finals as they defeat Detroit in game 7 of the second round. Our matchups are set, boys. Now in the conference finals, we have the Jets versus the Stars, the Islanders versus the Senators. The final 4 teams of the season are here. Let's go on and find out who is going to advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. And Dallas is going to hand Winnipeg their very first loss of the playoffs so far as they take game number 1 3-2. The Islanders are going to defeat Ottawa 4-2 in game 1. The Dallas Stars might actually have Winnipeg's number as they dominate game number 2 5-1 and take a 2-0 series lead. The Ottawa Senators are going to rally in the third period, 4 goals to tie up the series at 1 apiece with the Islanders. Finally, Winnipeg is going to win a game in the series as they take game number 3 4-3. Ottawa is going to take a 2-1 series lead over the Islanders after a 2-1 victory in game number 3. Dallas has taken a 3 3-1 series lead over the Winnipeg Jets, as well as the Ottawa Senators, who are going to win game number 4 5-3 over the Islanders. And the Dallas Stars are going to absolutely run through the Winnipeg Jets in the conference finals. It was not even close in 5 games. Maybe Winnipeg just had a cakewalk to the conference finals. Who knows? The Islanders are going to live to fight another day as they do force game 6 after a 6-2 victory. And the Ottawa Senators are off to the Stanley Cup Finals as they defeat the Islanders in 6 games in the conference finals. And Canada actually has a chance to win their very first Stanley Cup in over 30 seasons, as the nation's capital have gone on to advance to the Stanley Cup Final. Ottawa makes the playoffs for like the very first time in 4 to 5 years, and they're already in the Stanley Cup Finals. Brady Tkachuk is not going to touch it. That is so crazy. Ottawa, hats off to you guys. All right, our Stanley Cup Final matchup is set. We have the Dallas Stars versus the Ottawa Senators. Let's go and see who takes home the Stanley Cup in the 23-24 NHL season. Dallas is going to take game number 1 5-4. All right, we have overtime in game number 2. The score is tied all up at 5 apiece. I mean, the series is not over until you lose on home ice, but Ottawa does not want to fall down 2-0. Thomas Chabot hustling down in the middle. Giroux! Claude Giroux is going to snipe it home for Ottawa as they are going to tie the series up at 1 apiece, headed back to the nation's capital. Give me a replay on that. Thomas Chabot comes down the wing, makes a great pass in the middle right to Giroux. He picks it up. And man, does he ever rip that over the blocker on Jake Ottinger. What a shot by Claude Giroux. And Dallas is pretty much going to dominate Ottawa in game 3, 7-2. It was not even close. The Dallas Stars are up 3-2 over Ottawa. 2:54 to go here in the third period of game number 4. Ottawa trying not to go down 3-1. Miro Heiskanen coming in. Robertson, great block shot by Captain Brady there. Less than a minute to go. Less than 30 seconds. Oh no, Dallas just took a penalty. Pull your goalie, Ottawa. What are you doing? Empty net for Ottawa. They're pushing. Jake Ottinger, great shot here. 10 seconds to go. They should have got a whistle. They're only going to have 8.5 seconds to work with here on the power play. They should have just let Dallas touch the puck. Joe Pavelski in the box, you absolute goon. 8 seconds is not a lot of time to work with here. The Ottawa Senators lose the draw. Lundell, is he going to clear it out? He's going to clear it out, and that is going to do it for game number 4. Dallas is going to take a 3-1 series lead and are 1 game away from winning the Stanley Cup, something they couldn't do back in 2020. And it looks like the Stanley Cup is Dallas's to lose as they are up 5-2 in the third period of game number 6, I believe. Actually, no, game number 5. And the Dallas Stars are up 5-2 in game number 5. They are going to go to the power play, or actually the penalty kill. 2 minutes tripping Evgeny Dadonov in the box. But I don't think it really matters. I think it's too late, too little, boys. Or actually, too little, too late. Why did I say that backwards? Jason Robertson leading in points with 32, followed by Joe Pavelski's 32. 15 seconds to go in the third period of game number 5. Stanley Cup is in the building, boys. 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and the Dallas Stars are your 2024 Stanley Cup champions as they defeat Ottawa in 5 games in the Stanley Cup Final. An absolute domination. They finally get it done. They lost in 2020 in the bubble in the Stanley Cup Finals to Tampa, and then last season in the conference finals to Vegas. But now here in NHL 24, they finally get it done. Jason Robertson is going to take home the Conn Smythe for the Dallas Stars. I mean, he did lead their team in goals and points, so that is definitely well deserved, as Robo is going to get his very first Conn Smythe of his career. That legacy is building, man. It is building. And speaking of building, the Stanley Cup is in the building, boys. In Dallas, Texas for the very first time. Actually, no, I think they have 1 Stanley Cup in their franchise's history. I'm not too sure on Dallas's history. I'm really not, but there is Jamie Benn lifting the Stanley Cup for the very first time in his NHL career. career. Finally gets it done. I'll never forget that photo of him and I believe Tyler Seguin in the bubble. After they lost, they just sat there for hours. They were in straight misery, and I don't blame them, to be honest. You work that hard to get all the way there, and you're so close, and you can't get it done. Also, not knowing if you're ever going to make it back to the Stanley Cup Final, but here they are winning it. Joe Pavelski, the ageless wonder, man. Almost point per game last season. The dude literally does not age. His game translates very well. And finally, of course, you cannot forget about Tyler Seguin. He did get a Stanley Cup with Boston back in 2011, but he didn't really play. I believe he was only a rookie. And then he was amazing in Dallas for many years and then fell off a cliff, really. Him and Jamie Benn both, but you know, they both have a Stanley Cup to their name forever. And that is gonna do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, what are your thoughts on Dallas winning the Stanley Cup this season in NHL 24? I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.